Hey everybody, unraveling the matrix here. What's going on? I'd like to talk about the NDAA legalizes the use of propaganda on the U.S. public. Now this is an old article, May the 21st, 2012. But I've just recently ran across this, and the very first thing that caught my eye was Michael Hastings. The newest version of the NDAA Act includes an amendment that would legalize the use of propaganda on the American public, reports Michael Hastings of BuzzFeed. Now, this amendment would effectively nullify the Smith-Moot Act of 1948, which explicitly forbids information and psychological operations aimed at influencing U.S. public opinion. Now, we've all been brainwashed. When we hear the word propaganda, we automatically think of the Nazi propaganda. But there's all types of propaganda. It could be good propaganda, and it could be bad propaganda. Now, propaganda is a form of communication aimed towards influencing the attitude of a population toward some cause or position. Propaganda is information that is not impartial and used primarily to influence an audience with a further agenda, often by presenting facts selectively, thus possibly lying by omission, to encourage a particular synthesis, or using loaded messages to produce an emotional rather than rational response to the information presented. Now, the type of propaganda that I would like to get into is all of the shootings that we're seeing being covered by the mainstream media. We already know that the mainstream media is controlled by the CIA, the government. Now that the NDAA allows for propaganda to legally be placed on our televisions and newspapers and radios, we've got to ask ourselves, is these things that they're showing us really happening, or are they being spun and twisted in ways to alter your perception and your feelings about what exactly is happening here? Now, this is the Las Vegas couple who shot to death 2 police officers, a civilian and then themselves, after telling a neighbor they were headed to an underground world. Alright, they had an anti-government, anti-police ideology with militia and white supremacist overtones. Now, what this is propaganda to turn the general public's idea of alternative news and anyone that is associated with alternative news, the truth movement, into stark raving lunatics, and the people that believe in our Second Amendment turning them into cold-blooded killers that will potentially go on shooting rampages. The duo left calling cards of their worldview on the bodies of the slain cops, a "Don't Tread on Me" flag, and a note that read, "The revolution is beginning," and a swastika meant to equate police with the Nazis. Now, this, when they repeatedly, over and over and over, show these things on the television set, the newspapers, the covers of magazines, about all these shootings, it's going to get to the point to where everyone as a whole, their entire feelings and thoughts about guns will become so stark and severe that the public itself will cry out for the government to intervene and to take away everyone's guns. I'm sure plenty of people get shot in LA, New York, Chicago, Miami, places like that all the time. Street gangs shooting. But you don't hear that stuff on TV. They don't mention none of that. What they do is they selectively take these certain ones and just beat them into your head. And that is propaganda right there being used full force on the American people. These two right here, Jared Miller and Amanda Miller, posed for a mugshot on an unspecified date and location. Well, okay, everybody. Thanks for watching the video. Hit the like button. Subscribe to this channel.